Today's lecture is about what move first. Okay, from when you're doing the form, from pushing hands. Who moved first? What moved first? Okay, um, let's get into uh, the yin and yang first. Okay, let me get a yin and yang symbol here so we can see. Let's see if you can find. I got a good yin and yang symbol. Okay, we got a nice yin and yang symbol. You can see it. As you can see in the white dot within the black half, and the black dot in the white half. Okay, the black side is considered as yin, the white side is considered as yang. In between the yin, there is a yang, okay, which is the dot. So at the black shade, there is a white dot. That means within the yin, there is a yang. Within the yang, the white side of the shaded area, the non-shaded area, the white side, there is a black dot. There's a yin. So who moved first? Okay, that's a very good question. If you look at the yin and yang symbol, you can see that somebody has to move to initiate the movement. Okay, so let's forget about the yin and yang symbol first, okay? Let's talk about the human brain. When you want to do something, if you don't have a brain, or you don't have the mind in this case, the brain has everything on there to create an action. So if you don't have a mind, or let's say you have this body without the brain, therefore you don't have a mind, okay? So the brain sends signal to the nervous system to do an action. Remember, an action. Anything that moves is yang. Anything that's not moving is yin. So we have, first of all, we need to distinguish yin and yang. Anything that's dark is yin. Anything is bright is yang. Female is yin. Male is yang. Action is, non-action is yin. Action is yang. Okay. So when you saw something on the floor, let's say you saw $100 bill on the floor, you don't, the only time you pick it up, something on the floor, let's say there's $100, if you didn't see the $100, or even though your eyes saw it, but cannot tell you whether it's paper or $100, so the mind initiates. So therefore we can say it's the yin, because the mind is the yin, the body is the yang. So we can say, in this case, we can say the yin initiates and the yang picked up the money. Okay. The yin initiates, the yang pick up the money. So the mind initiates, the body pick up the money. The mind, okay, decide everything. So the mind started something to create you to do something. That's a very dangerous thing if you think about it. Let's say somebody else's mind creates something and then you go and do something because they tell you what to do. Think about it. See that? That is in two human body together. Okay. Two human body together. So now we are talking about just one body here. This body with this mind say, hey, that's $100. So go pick it up. You pick it up. Action. So non-action, action. We agree, right? Okay. If you look at this circle, this yin and yang circle, move. If it doesn't move, that means it's imbalance. If you move, let's say if yin initiates the movement mindfully, initiates, and the yang start moving based on the initiation of the yin, if the yang matches the yin in the movement, when it matches, that means there is one constant equal amount of movement. Therefore, you can say there's no movement because it matches it. Okay, that's a higher level of talking, okay? So let's talk about just simple idea. When we do our Tai Chi form, okay, when we do our Tai Chi form, when we initiate the movement, let's say I tell you, bend your knees and then you raise your hand. This is our typical Wu Tai Chi. So you bend your knees and raise your hand because I told you, because my mind says so to you. And I also implant the idea to you in your mind to tell the body to do the action. Okay, so your body did the action because your mind tell your body what to do. Emotionally, your mind tell your body what to do. Emotionally, the intelligence of your mind tell your body, which is an artificial part of the human frame, to do the work. So I call it artificial intelligence, okay? So basically, you move because the mind tell you to move a certain way because I set up the rule for you. Now, if you move in any other way, let's say you don't want to worry about the mind, you just do it. But you know, through the nervous system, the mind actually, if the mind doesn't, if the mind is not there, your body cannot move, believe me, okay? So everything is controlled by the mind. But if you are not using your mind to move, that means you are not mindfully moving. So when you are not mindfully moving, then your movement is not efficient, it's not effective, let's put it that way, to get the absolute power of Tai Chi. The absolute power of Tai Chi only come about is because your mind is mindfully involved with your movement. If the mind just involved with the movement is not enough, it's to be mindful involved. So that means the entire journey of your movement has to be very cohesive with your mind. It cannot work separately. In other words, if you are doing the movement out of remembrance, but your mind is thinking of somewhere else, or your mind is listening to a music, or you're talking to someone on your earplug on your phone here while you're doing your Tai Chi, that Tai Chi is not an effective way of doing Tai Chi. You will not get the efficiency of what you should get ultimately from executing the form, okay? So what I'm saying is, when the mind initiates the body move. Then the body move according to the principle of the body mechanics, the principle of rotation, the principle of structuring, the principle of tucking in, the principle of folding, the principle of serenity, the principle of understanding of how the upper and lower body matches, the left and right matches. All these things come into play after it initiates by the intent of the mind. Okay? So we can safely say here that the mind started, the body moved. That means we can conclude by saying that it's the yin that moved and the yang obeyed or match. Does anybody have any comment on what I just said? I just said it is safely for me to say that the yin trigger, the yang obey or match or balance. Does anybody has something to say about that? Come on, you guys are Tai Chi people. Do you agree with me or you don't? Might ask a question, does yin dominate the yang? That's a good question. Does your mother dominate you? Does your wife dominate you? Maybe you can tell me an answer on that. Or you dominate. That's from a perspective of human being, let's say. Okay? Does anybody have any comments on that? When the yin initiates or trigger, the yang notice it, and the yang follow or obey or balance or match. That was my thing. Okay. All right, you're asking, you're putting the point out on the perspective of doing a form. Okay. I don't want to answer the question yet. I like to use as an example of things that we, as human beings, look at things. For example, let's say, I would say, in my opinion, yin dominates first. I wouldn't say dominate. Well, I mean, maybe it's the right word, dominate. I would say that yin situation creates the yang to respond, in my opinion. Okay, just my opinion. Okay? So let's say we're walking into this dark place, in this dark house. We walk into the house and we're staying there trying to wonder what's going on. Because it's dark, which is yin, it initiates, trigger you to think. When it triggers you to think, hey, it's dark, what's going on here? When you say it's dark and what's going on here, that is a yang action. So if it triggers that means yang dominates, no, yin dominates. Or initiates, like Mike just said. So this is a very important concept because at a higher level, we're going to look at pushing hands, okay? So I just want to make sure that I always use life experience, life example to understand things so that we can jive Tai Chi with what's going on in life. That make Tai Chi is a lifestyle. Wow, Tai Chi is something that I learned to help me in my life experiences or in my life journey to experience many things. Okay, so let me look at another question here. Somebody say uh, that the goal is to balance between the two. I agree. The goal is to balance. Yes, yes, yes. Because if it's not balance, then it becomes unbalanced. Imbalance, unbalanced, imbalance. Then no harmony. No harmony means no peace. No peace means not happy. Not happy means we're not going anywhere. We're staring at each other getting upset. So the whole purpose is to harmonize them or to balance them. We're going to get into that, okay, later. Well, we're talking about initiation. Very, very important here. So Mike said, yeah, yin initiates. I totally agree with you. I'm not sure you're saying it or you're asking me. I totally agree with you. Of course, yang initiates too. But I think if yin initiates, it's more powerful. Okay. Now remember, yang is the bright side. Yin is the dark side. You don't see in the dark side. You see in the bright side. Remember, yin is the dark side. Yang is the bright side. You don't see in the yin side. You see everything on the bright side. Remember this concept. We're going to bring it into our application of Tai Chi later. Okay. It's getting very exciting. I don't know where to put it together now. Okay. Denise say that since the yin in yang and yang is in yin, wouldn't dominance happen if there is an imbalance? Yes, I totally agree. Dominance will happen if there is an imbalance. That's true. Before there is a balance. You know, I think balance just don't come like that unless it's so fast, unless you are able to comprehend it, or when you're able to receive it and balance right away. I think there's always something happen and something balance it in everyday life. Like somebody says something, I respond to the person. If I react to the person, then it's trouble. That's imbalance. So something have to get started. That's why I say yin started first. Do you agree with me or you don't? That's what I want to know. If you don't agree with me, now I'm not saying you're wrong if you say yin start first. I'm not saying you're right either. If you say yin start first and you agree, then you can tell me why. If you say yang should be the one starting it because there's bright and you can see it, then you tell me why. Why do you say that? Or you're not sure? Tell me why. But you guys are giving me an answer here about, because every yin is in the yang, that's true, and every yang is in the yin. That's true. But if you look at the big yin, the big black shaded area, there's only a small dot of the yang in there. If you look at the white shaded area, there's only small dot of yin area. They're not equal amount. They're not equal amount. So I'm not sure what you guys are telling me here. If we say imbalance, there'll be equal amount. Now, don't get me wrong. The entire black side area and the entire white side area, the shaded area, they are equal amount. The two dots are equal amount. But the dots inside that shaded area, it's not equal amount. Okay. Now, Denise agreed with the yin goes first because thinking comes before action. Bravo, bingo, jackpot. You got it. You got it. Again, the perspective of the yin, let me see what Denise said. That she agree goes that thinking comes before action. Thinking come before action. Thinking have action of thinking, but no physical movement, just mental. So it's mindfulness. So the thought that you have, when you compare with the thought and action, or the mind they're going to initiate, then you're comparing with the action, therefore that's yin and that's yang. Now to go back a little bit further, if you think of something, that is a yang compared to no thought. Now that's too much. That's getting too much. That's getting into some kind of a theory of emptiness and mindfulness, beyond mindfulness and emptiness. Let's not touch those areas. Those are heavenly stuff. Those are heaven stuff. Let's not talk about heaven stuff. Let's talk about this crazy human body here that exists on this earth. Man, he's on this earth. He got a mind, he got a body, he got a smart mind, he got a stupid body. He's gonna tell his body what to do. So he think and action goes. That's it. Just like I just said, when you saw the $100, the mind saw the $100. Hey, tell the body it's $100, go pick it up. So it's obviously the yin start first in this case, and in many, many cases, as a matter of fact. Okay, let's say I agree because, okay, then let's see. Might agree unless the perspective of the yin is skewed because of the personal experience. Agree. From personal experience, from more experience that you have, you can kind of fumble around with it, which I'm going to answer that later, okay? Then he said that it will translate mindfulness in Tai Chi. I think that's true. That will translate in mindfulness in Tai Chi. Okay, so the body cannot rotate correctly unless the mind tell the body how to do it. Sending messages. Got to understand the nervous system, how messages are sent for action. If you lost your mind, your body cannot even do this. You cannot even do this if you lost your mind. You know, if you're a vegetarian, you're veggie, you can't do anything. Okay, if you lost your mind, especially when we get old. Excuse me. When we get old, we don't even know how to go home. You know, I had a friend that was in Singapore who was wondering where his dad went. His dad was 75 or 80 years old. I can't remember. They couldn't find him. So they thought maybe he just went off for a walk. And he decided to take a bus and cross the other island. Take the bus would take them from Singapore to Malaysia. He went over to Malaysia and nobody's know. He thought his dad just went out with some friends and he didn't come back. And at night they called the police, they don't know where he went. And then at 10 o'clock at night he showed up at home. And his son asked him, where did you go? I don't know. I took the bus. I don't know where I was going. And the bus took me there. And the bus took me back. So the bus is actually doing the work for him. So he got a very good artificial intelligence machine in his body. They program everything, take him to Malaysia and bring him back to Singapore. That's a joke anyway. But it's true though. So anyway, so what I'm saying is that if you lost your mind, you lose everything. You cannot do much. Okay, let's see. Okay, are we agreed on this? Does everybody agree on this? That the mind started first? I'm assuming that you are. Okay, very good. So we agree. Okay, it's getting a little bit harder to get into a deeper level now. When we are in the process of doing the movement, for example, the first movement, bend your knees to raise your hand, turn, pivot, bring your hand down, push it forward, make sure your quad is all in there, bring your right hand down, match it, and do an open close half step. When you are doing all that, your body also has to distinguish between the yin and the yang. How much yin on the left side, how much yang on the right side. How much substantial on the right side, how much insubstantial on the left side. So there's a lot of mindfulness going on. There's a lot of intelligence going on. We are not moving stupidly. We are moving in the best intelligence that we have from our brain to make our body move so that it will manifest in a very good action or a very good accomplishment what we supposed to get. Okay? So where is the yin coming in now? The yin that's coming in there is from the two dots, the yin and the yang. The smaller yin and the smaller yang come in. These two little tiny balls, they move together. They actually move the shaded part of the yin and yang. Okay? They are moving it together. If they say if this is the yin, if I move, it matches it with the yang. If the yin stop, the yang. So let's say this is yang, this is yin. The yang stop. So if the yin move and the yang stop, that's disharmony. You see that? That disharmony. So the yin move, the yang goes. The yin stop, the yang stop. If the yang go, that's trouble for him. Got it? Did you guys get this one? Please say yes or no over here. I'm not sure, because if you don't get it, I need to explain again so that, because the next explanation is going to be very hard to understand. Yes, good, good, good. So Pam got it, Mike got it. So that's the two little pebbles, two little let me get the yin yang logo again. That's the two little circle that's in there. See this? See this dot and this dot. They are moved together. They are moved together. Okay. So they have to move together constantly. These two dots are the controlling dots of the movement. This mindset is controlling the body set in the mindset of the shaded part. I'm not sure I explained it correctly. Do you guys get it? Anybody get it? There are two dots move because the two little dots moving, it's carrying the body of the shaded part, moving it together to match the entire system of movement or the entire path of the journey, wherever they're going to go. They are moving together because the dots are controlling it mindfully, watching it mindfully, absorb it, assimilate it, you name it. They are doing the job very cleverly, cunningly, whatever word you want to use, to make sure that nothing get off balance, so that the entire thing are in absolute balance journey. If any one of them out of whack, if it is out of whack, then this person have to match the out of whack. If this person, okay, this is yin, this is yang. If this out of whack, this yin out of whack, and this yang did not match it, then the complete system failed. Your movement execution is not good, and then you kind of look ridiculous, and you're off balance. If this is out of whack for some reason, which we hope it doesn't get out of whack, if it get out of whack for some reason, then this have to help this person out of whack to match back then suddenly the yin and yang change again. So yin and yang can interchange. You see that? You can get upset at someone and suddenly you smile. Yang change to yin. That's exactly what it is. So it can interchange. Everybody follow? Now we're going to get deeper. It's going to get harder again. I wish I was doing this in class so I can draw pictures. I got nothing. I'm sitting here crossing my leg trying to explain this whole thing. So these two dots is very, very important. Okay. So when we are doing the movement, that's why we need to break it down. We break it down by the parts. For one long move, from beginning of Tai Chi to lazy to Tai Kung, is one move. Then inside the move, there are many parts in it. Last week, Tuesday, I talked about timing. No, it was yesterday I talked about timing. Yeah, yesterday I was talking about timing. How we time it, how we match it, and how we flow. Because there are many parts in that movement, every part that you move to go to the next part of the entire movement, that particular part, you make sure they are in balance. If they are off balance, they're not matching, then your flow is not good because it's not matching. If suddenly you go fast, you go slow, that's not matching either. If you're not finishing the move and thinking of the next move, that's not matching again. So your thought and your movement has to match. Exactly. No more, no less. But you do the best you can be. Hopefully one day you'll get it. I think by the time you execute it 10,000 times, you will get at least one time right. I hope. Okay? Not trying to discourage you. But so, you have to make sure every part of your journey are matches. And then you do it many, many times. And then you take out the first part. Then the second part, you join it as one part. You do it many, many times. And the first, second, third, you make it, let's say a total of 7 parts to finish the move. Then you do the 1 to 4. You get good at it, then you do 1 to 5. You're good at 1 to 6, and then 1 to 7 right away. 10,000 times. Hopefully everything matches. Hopefully the yin and yang is watching it. So with this kind of mindfulness that we are doing, that's obviously we're building this powerful machine in ourselves, in us, in this body. It's obviously we are inventing or preventing our brain from getting aging. Prevent it for aging too fast. I don't say prevent for aging. We all age. Just prevent it from aging too fast, okay? So because we're using it. So when we're constantly using the brain to make all this movement, this brain will produce juice, awesome juice in the brain called dopamine. This dopamine is going to stay in there so we don't get Alzheimer, we don't get Parkinson, we don't get stupidity, I hope. We don't get illusion or completely lost, because we produce this juice from this kind of training. So this kind of training is going to help us to produce this. That's from the internal point of view. But it also helps us to understand about how the body balance itself, because all this action you've been doing. And not only that, it also creates alertness in you, in your mind, because you're telling him what to do. Every step is known. Everything is, it's already planted in this computer here. So you have alertness, you have listening skill, you have sensing skill or sensational skill, you have intuition skill, you have psychic energy, so as to say, at the higher level, if you believe in it. So by training this way, you can develop a very high level of a listening skill. If you do it with the music, if you're not worrying about the yin and yang, you just move, then you are just doing exercise. Is that okay? Sure, it's okay. You know, will you live long? Sure, you will. Will you die happy? Maybe not. But if you do it like what we just talked about, you probably die happy. And I think you should die happy. I think whoever's going to take you away is very happy for you too to die that way, in my opinion. Okay? So are we following here? Because I want to touch to the next thing, which is getting a little confused in terms of the applications of it. Anybody have any questions here? Anybody not following? Are we following the dots? Are we understanding the mind? Are we understanding the wisdom from this mind and body connects together? All right, Mike got it. Bingo. All right, if you didn't get it, don't be embarrassed. You can ask me again. That way, I'll talk about it. I hope I answer all the questions that's on here. I don't know how to save this live chat. For some reason, I cannot save it. Maybe somebody can tell me how to do it one day. Every time I finish this video and I put it on YouTube, I lose all the comments on the chat, which is kind of sad because I need them for reference and also for the people who are watching the video later, you know. So I guess 2 people say they got it. I have 5 more people who didn't say anything. I guess silent is golden. Silent means you understand, I believe. Okay. So let's get to the next level. You know. Now we train this way so that we want our mind to get strong. We want our mind to be alert. We want to be mindful all the time. We also want to be aware of our environment. We also want to make sure that nobody attack us, even though they come behind our back. You know, you don't want it. So we don't want anything bad to happen to us when we are walking. We don't want trouble, unnecessary trouble, where we can avoid it if we train ourselves intelligently. Mind and body together, 2 pebbles together, 2 shaded area together. We don't want any trouble. So to make sure that we are able to use what I just talked about, mindfully doing this, doing that, doing that, doing this, doing that. But remember, we are doing within our zone, our body, our zone. You know, if you're the only person that lives on this earth, then you are alone. You don't have enemy. You don't have somebody attacking you. You don't have somebody yelling at you. So you don't have to deal with it. So you're a perfect person. You have nothing to compare with. But when there's someone else next to you, then you want to see whether what you learn, what you have, is able to match them. If you match them, then the whole thing becomes one. You kind of dominate them now. Mike asked a question, who dominates? You dominate someone else. Maybe by the yin way or by the yang way now. Because you know yin and yang now when you do your Tai Chi form. You know what is yin is what is yang. If they're yin, you use your yang. When there's yang, you use your yin. Because you have this Tai Chi shaded area, the dark area, the bright area, and you have these two dots to control the whole situation. You're the master, you're the king. You are standing in a circle, you are the circle, you own the circle, you are the Tai Chi. They are not. So with all this power that you have, you can destroy them. Maybe that's a very strong word to use, to destroy them. Shouldn't use the word to destroy them, get them off balance. That may be better. Okay. So when we train pushing hands, why do we train push hands? Why so much trouble? Why don't we just train our own and just be happy and get the healing out and feel spirituality? Yes, you can. But we are human. We have this monkey brain. This monkey brain always want to do something beyond. Hey, let's do something. Let's throw it in what we learn. Let's throw it on someone and see what happened. And then you get whacked. Oh my God, somebody whacked you. And you not knowing you got whacked. That means what you learn, maybe it's not working the way you think it's working. Now you have to go back and relearn. Go back and look at some of the stuff that you overlook, then you need to look at again. Okay? So that is the way to test whether you have actually mindfully attained your skill. So how are we going to learn that? We learn that by doing pushing hands. We start off doing the drills. You remember I taught you guys the drills: single hand, double hand, four hands, half step, 3.5 step, which you guys are learning right now. And then do the left side, do the right side, left leg, right leg. You do all kind of possible way to develop this beyond what your mind can do now. Because when you do it to yourself, when you're doing the movement by yourself, of course, you always say you're perfect. Of course, hey, it's my body. I'm perfect. I'm doing it. But when you do it with someone, you have to match the person. That's become difficult. It's like dancing, It's like dancing. You have to match. If you don't match, you cannot win the competition. So that means when the person initiates the move, you receive the move, you neutralize the move, then you initiate forward, they receive it, they neutralize it, they push forward, you receive it. Constantly, you're training how to receive, you're training how to stick, you're training how to understand the force coming in, so you give the same amount of force back to them, no more, no less. Why? Because you're learning how to balance that person that's coming into you. If you're able to balance the person all the time, that means you're in control. If you're able to balance more than the person that able to balance you, then you're also in control most of the time. So therefore, because of your journey of your training of the yin and yang, the two dots and the shaded area, you're so good at it, now you are applying now in real life. It's like I teach you how to cook. Your cooking is this and that, and show you the books, you read it, you score 100 in your test, how much ingredient you need to put. I say, okay, here's the pot and pans, cook me something, and you cannot cook it. You can only talk about it. But that's not good. You're telling everybody how great you are. You're spiritually playing your mind. I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. When in real life, you're not. Throw the pots and pan to you, you can't cook. You can't come out even half cook or half right. So we have to cook it. Same thing in Tai Chi. You do these drills. And understanding this drill, how it come about, no more, no less. You give me 5, I match you 5. You give me 3, I match you 3. What I mean by that is that if the force is coming into me from a scale of 1 to 10, if I presume that is a 3, then I have to give it back a 3. For every action, there is always a reverse, equal, opposite reaction. Newton's law. I think I got it right. Did I get it right? Somebody corrected me? For every action that's moving forward, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. That's right. So you have to have that equal reaction. If you don't have the equal reaction, then you are less. Then your yin and yang is off. You're out of whack, they come and eat you. You're out of whack. If you're balanced, they have to think twice before they come and eat you. Think about that. Now, we're going to talk about that later, though. Talk about that later. That's the final part we're going to talk about. So in terms of the pushing hands of the drill, we want to make sure that we are in constant pacing ourselves with our opponent. Nothing else. Matching everything. He's coming into you. You're moving it back. You come into them. They're moving back. It's a perfect dance. A 10. Dance. Perfect. Score of 100. Okay, because everything is matching. So, two body, put it together, become one. Then it's called, the two body come together, become absolute power. That force is absolute power in this case. But how are you going to beat the person even though you both are in harmony? That is a very complicated situation here again. Okay, let's before I continue talking about defeating your opponent, does everybody understand so far what I'm trying to say about the matching? Everybody understand? Everybody have questions? Everybody want to throw something out here? We still have time. Somebody says, cool, state of void, awesome. What happens in push hands? What someone comes in a very aggressive? That's a good one. I'll answer that later. Like a 10, do we match with a 10? Yes. If somebody aggressive is a 10, we match with a 10. Technically. Emotionally may not be that way, technically. That's a technical way. I'll talk about that later. Anybody don't understand me so far? Anybody don't understand me so far? I'm getting hungry, by the way. I haven't had my dinner, so I hope I still have the energy to continue. I will. I'm getting pumped up right now. Come on, you guys have no questions? Nobody has an idea or something to tell me? What I say is wrong? Okay, maybe you can ask later. So, go back and answer the question. Okay, somebody got a question here. Somebody say, is this art supposed to make it to the public? No, but I'll make it for public today. This class is actually for my student, the elite program in my school in Dallas, Texas. Because today is a winter storm, we didn't have classes. So majority of people decide not to come to class. And I don't want to drive to my school with this freezing rain conditions. So we decided to do an online courses on online class in YouTube. And that's how we're doing it. Since you're asking it. No, you don't have to back out. No, thank you. You love my tournaments. Thank you. No, you don't have to back out. You listen. It's for the public. Anybody can come. And I also have a Discord channel that actually convey a lot of message to people about Tai Chi and all that. You can join my Discord channel. It's free. Just sign up. It's called Master Jimmy Wong. You can sign up. You can ask for an invitation or ask me to accept you. If you know what Discord is, it's a platform where those people play video games or people are using friends to group together and create this Discord channel. DISCORD. Discord server, Discord channel. So I have one called Master Jimmy Wong, and you can join us. Thank you for getting on our live video here. Yes, I'm glad you love my tournaments. We do great tournaments, okay? But because pandemic, we haven't been doing it. I don't know when I'm going to do it again. So anyway, let's go back to my Tai Chi here. So, because aggressive force that's coming in is really hard to receive unless you're at a very, very high level of competent. I can tell you that. Okay. If Muhammad Ali give you a punch, Muhammad Ali give you a punch. Everybody know Muhammad Ali, the king of the boxer. One punch, 600 pounds. Take it, you finish. Receive it, you also finished. Because if you receive it, boom, 600 pounds. Smash your teeth, smash your face, you become bloody, angry. Okay. But if Muhammad Ali punched 600 pounds and you receive it at the timing as the force that's coming in, and you neutralize it right there when he's on the surface of touching you, that means your listening skill or your sensing skill is so high, you're able to receive it just right there. Because when the 600 pounds come in, before it touches you, it's not 600 pounds. As soon as it touches you, it's 600 pounds. But if you can deviate from that 600 pounds, that 600 pounds becomes zero. So in Tai Chi theory, we have a saying that say 4 ounces can knock 10,000 pounds. Basically, 4 ounces can neutralize 10,000 pounds. 4两破千斤, 4两破千, 4两不轻干. That's in Cantonese. The other one's in Mandarin. So you can neutralize it, but you need to have very high level intuition, sensing, psychic, you name it, that kind of very high level listening skill to do that. That means your form that you train every day, make sure it's more than 10,000 times now. I'll tell you that. And that still doesn't guarantee that you will get that skill, but it's there. Like they say, Jesus walked on water. I didn't see it, but people talk about it. I'm sure you can walk on water if you become Jesus. They say Buddha can float. I don't see it. I never see Buddha float. I never saw Buddha, so I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm sure some people can float. That's all you have to train at the higher level. They say we cannot go to the moon, but people went to the moon. It's the same thing. So what I'm saying here is, if you are able to listen to something is coming in, then you're able to neutralize. So matching is the ability to neutralize. Bingo again, Denise. You're learning too fast. You got it again. You just said. It seems like matching is the ability to neutralize. That's right. Matching is the ability to neutralize. So as soon as you have the ability, and when you start making the change, then you're neutralizing. So you're right. Matching is the ability to neutralize. Now neutralizing, so okay, let's go back to where we talk about, for example, that everything have to match, okay? Everything have to match. In other words, you touch my hand, I touch. So if I'm matching, if I don't do anything, then nothing is done. For example, we're doing the drills. So we're matching, which is good because we're training how to match. If your matching skills are very high, then your chances of learning neutralization skill will be easier, faster, and better than anybody else who doesn't have the matching skill. You agree or not? Let me go again. If your matching skill in Tai Chi within yourself, the yin and yang, the two dots, the two big fat tadpole that's moving around, matching, and then you push them with somebody, the same thing, all matching, your ability to neutralize, it's born from there. If your matching is not good, then you will never give birth to neutralization. Very good. You will never see neutralization. What are you neutralizing? Neutralizing is only based on something that you feel, you're aware, and then you're doing something. If you don't match it, and if you do it, that means you're guessing. That means you're trying to flute shot. You want to take a chance. Neutralizing, do not take chance. Do not take chance. We neutralize because we know when, how to neutralize. And where to neutralize. When, how, and where to neutralize. If we don't match, we don't know. So neutralization is born if you match. Now, when you neutralize, that person have to re-neutralize you to match you back. You see that? Just because you neutralize, it doesn't mean you win. Your chances of win is higher because now you're matching, and then you start the neutralizing. If they caught you neutralizing, you're in trouble. Then you have to catch them back. He's in trouble. We keep catching. And we say, who is the best ghost catcher? Pam said, now I know why we are pushing hands. That's right, Pam. All right. So you're gonna live past 108 years old and a few more hours from there. Some people may die before 108 years old. You got it. So once you match, you can neutralize. And the other person, if they caught you neutralizing, that means they rematch your neutralizing. If they rematch you, you're neutralizing. And if you don't match back, bingo, finished. You're gone. Just because you neutralize doesn't mean you win. No, you don't win. You only win when the person is off balance. If you neutralize, that person is not off balance, that person is not off balance, then you are in big trouble because he matches you while you are neutralizing. Now you have to match back. Okay. Of course, if we hit on the face, that's not fair because we are trying to play this understanding of neutralizing. So you have to match back. If you are able to match back, then he's finished. What is his chances of matching back? It's going to be 0.000000001% because it's too fast going on. Too much changes going on. Too much changes is going on. Now, Denise asked another question. Are we attempting to sense the yin initiation before the yang movement? Ha ha ha. Man, you're two ahead now. You got it. Another bingo. You got 3 jackpots. Man, you got 3 jackpots. 3 jackpots. 3. Denise questions here say, are we attempting to sense the yin initiation before the yang movement? Yes. Yes. Now let me ask you questions. Okay, let's not talk about pushing hands here. Let's deviate a little bit because pushing hands is getting a little too boring for some people maybe. Does it happen in everyday life? In our experience in life? And if it does, can you give me an example? Think of it in terms of everyday life. It will be a very good example. Now let's go back again. Go back in the very first part. Yin initiates. Yin initiates. Yin dominates. the yang. Yin initiates, yang action. Okay? We already say that. And then Denise say, and then we talk about pushing hands. Then we say yin dominate the yang move, the yin matches all the circles, all the two dots and the two shaded part. We talked about that earlier. Now we talk about pushing hands. Now Denise has a questions here. Are we attempting to sense the yin initiation before the yang movement? I agree. And I give you 3 jackpots. This is the 3rd jackpot that you hit. During neutralization, I agree. My questions here is that, how do you apply this in everyday life? Not pushing hands. I want to put push hand on the side right now. In everyday life, in society, in things that we do at home, in the office, in the community, or with friends around. Give me some example what you just said that you could think of. And also, after that, I also want, how can you solve that problem? I think I talk about that in example all the time in our classes. I don't know if you guys remember or not. So did you get the question I'm asking? Or am I getting too complicated here? Now we got 9 people here. Looks like only 2-3 people are talking. By sensing the mood of another person in the room, I totally agree. But I want more answer. I want more answer. I agree. So you're sensing the yin initiations before the yang movement. So you're sensing the mood of the person. When avoiding the argument, tension escalate. We have to know how to diffuse the situation. I agree. But I'm still looking for concrete example. Now, what you guys said right here, Denise said by sensing the mood of another person in the room. I agree, but how is that going to help? It's a very general thing. I mean, I agree, but I want more. But I might say, when avoiding an argument, tension escalate. Yes. So you want to avoid something, tension escalate. Then you have to know how to diffuse the situation. Yeah, because you avoid an argument, therefore you're matching it, and you don't want tension to escalate, so you are matching it. So you're just matching. You're just matching. You are not applying neutralizing over here. You know, because after you neutralize, you want to make sure when you neutralize, the person cannot neutralize you anymore. That means you move him away. That's what I want you guys to think. Okay, we talk about neutralizing. We never talk about attacking or move somebody away. So I'm going to talk about, okay, let me go back a little bit. Go back to the question about you're attempting to sense the yin initiations before the yang movement. I totally agree, during neutralization. So you're sensing it, and therefore you're neutralizing it. Nothing happened. You just neutralize the person. If the person didn't catch it, he get thrown off. If the person catch it, he neutralize back. Now, how can you neutralize the person and then throw him off? How can you neutralize the person that you actually throw him off and tick him off? How can you neutralize the person without making him or her embarrassed, yet he or him, he or she feel mentally embarrassed or mentally look like I can't use those words. Sometimes I use rough words, you know. How can you avoid the person? You want to win the person internally, not externally known. to make the person feel that you caught them, but you still want them to look good. Try to be diplomatic about it, basically. Okay. When you assess their body language and their vocal intention, you don't engage. You change the subject. What? What do you mean by I don't understand that language that you just said. When you assess their body language, oh, I see. And their vocal intention, okay. You don't engage. You change the subject. No, I don't want you to change the subject. You're touching hands. You're neutralizing them. You don't want to change the subject. You want to continue the subject. And you also want them to know that you are not a fool. That's what I want. Give me some situation. Okay. All right, I'm going to say something here. I may offend some people, but this is not meant to offend anybody, so don't take it personally. This is just situation I've seen. It doesn't happen to me, but it happened to many of my friends' situation. So, let me see what Pam said. You enter the store with a face mask. Someone tell you, are you silly for wearing the mask? You take a breath and do a deep chest cough. You got it. That is a very good one. Pam got it. Getting close, Pam. Getting close. You're going to live longer now. Pam said that you enter the store, you wear a face mask. You know, you see it all the time. And someone tells you, are you silly for wearing a mask? You take a breath, and do a deep chest cough. Ha ha. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very, very good example. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a situation here. Okay. I always say that, now again, please don't get upset. You may be part of it in this situation. I hope you're not. But if you are, you're going to laugh about it. And you might be one of them in a good way, not in a bad way. In a situation, the strongest person, the most balanced person, the most peaceful person, the highest being is the one who is balanced. That means the yin and yang is balanced. If the yin and yang is balanced, then they are the king of Tai Chi or the queen of Tai Chi, so as to say. Therefore, as a queen of Tai Chi or a king of Tai Chi, you have authority to supervise the people below you and tell them things they need to do this and they do that. Like I tell you to do this, body mechanic, do this movement, rotate, pivot, blah, 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 because I'm the king of Tai Chi, for example. Okay. Let's say, I think you know this story. Let's say your mother-in-law don't like you. Now, please don't laugh at me. Some of you are probably laughing already. You know what my story is. Let's say your mother-in-law don't like you. So Jenny is worrying about the mother-in-law. Therefore, the mother-in-law is the most powerful person, the authority. Jenny is very worried about the mother-in-law. And every time mother-in-law come to the house, mother-in-law will have something to complain. Of course, the mother-in-law loves his son because she thinks that Jenny don't do enough for him, for his son. Obviously, mother-in-law will always give her a hard time because the mother-in-law is the highest authority person to control all situation. She's balanced, she's king, she's the queen of the yin and yang. She can see through Jenny. So over the years, Jenny learned how to balance her mother-in-law. She have a hard time adjusting. Took her years to figure out how to match her. So she trained her Tai Chi. She trained her body mechanics. She trained everything. Like, she tried to please her. She tried to take care of the husband, try to feed the husband good, make sure the husband all not stressed out, blame herself all the time, constantly pleasing the mother-in-law. But she failed each time because she could not find the correct neutralizing skill. She could not find she got the matching skill, but she could not find how to neutralize that skill, that matching partner. She matched everything what the mother-in-law have to say about her. So the biggest complaint, so she sat down and decided one day to figure out what is the biggest complaint of this mother-in-law. Every time she come to the house, she complained about this is not clean, this is not good, this is not good, kitchen is not clean, toilet is stinky, bathroom is not good, no towels here, not everything about the house, because her mom is very meticulous about cleanliness in the house. Because sometimes you can only clean so much. Some people are crazy. They want to be more clean. Okay? So Jenny decided one day to clean the entire house. Because every time she come in, she complained about the house. Took care of the husband really good. Cleaned the entire house completely. No smell. Everything is clean. No dust. Everything is perfect. Kitchen is clean. Everything is there. No dirt. No even wind blowing into the house to get any smell at all. Put all the nice scent in the house. What is she doing? She is doing the body mechanics. She's doing this. She's doing that. She's doing that to match the mother-in-law. And one day the mother-in-law came home to the house and said, wow, this is different this time, Jenny. She said. Jenny said, I'm just trying to help the family, and I just want you to be happy that things are working out for all of us in the house. So the house is so clean, smells so good, everything is so perfect when she did. The mother-in-law could not neutralize her. She just matched her. She did not have to neutralize her. But because she matched her, now she cannot have another complaint on her to create another initiation. She cannot. She stopped. So that means her neutralization skill is there. Sometimes when you match enough, you don't have to neutralize. You make it nicely so that when the person go home, you feel like stupid, like you can't say much anymore. So you are able to develop this yin part, the silent part, and it become a big part, the yang part, for her. And when it come into her, it blow her mind off. Nothing to say. Then she will be in peace. Like I always say, we do not need any external factor to disturb our peace. So in pushing hands, when you neutralize, and if you neutralize, the other person don't neutralize back, they're finished. They get off balance. Or you can even apply a force. If you want to be a jerk about it, you just apply a force and then they go. Or you just be friendly and let them go by themselves. They're going to go back and they feel good about it, that you are being nice. At the same time, they not feel good about themselves. Man, I really don't think I'm that good that I thought I was. But man, she was really nice. She didn't make me lose my face. Okay. This is the best part of Tai Chi. This is called embracing. This is called the absolute power, the ultimate power that you can have in such a way that your existence balance everybody. That's what I'm trying to say today. So, to conclude this, yin initiate first. I totally agree. If someone can tell me yang go first, try to convince me. I'll be very happy to entertain it, and I will be happy to learn it. If you have some theory or an idea that the yang go first, I still think the yin go first. Sometimes the yin initiates, the yang stupidly follow, then the yin wins. Sometimes the yin initiate, the yang matches, then the yin have to follow. And the yang become yin. And the yin become yang, then the yang become yin. Then whoever got the higher yin, I think they win. Because yin is the inner power. So yin power can be used to do bad things, can also used to do good things. It all depends how you want to use it. So in this society and everyday life, we can do all that. Whether we use it for externally or whether we use it internally. Whether we can use for bad thing, and we can always use for good things. I hope we all use for good thing. Okay? Thank you very much. I think we spent enough time. And I hope I answer you guys' questions. And please study hard. I know the weather will get better next week. We hope that we'll meet in class again. That way we can continue our journey as an elite Tai Chi teacher someday. Okay? Thank you.